Good evening to all my friends. Today is the 19th of March 2024. Uh, it's a Tuesday, and tomorrow, Wednesday 20th, we are expecting Fed decision on the not to increase the interest rates, just pass it this time. But everybody is expecting the dot plot just to see if there will be two rate cuts during the year, which are only 25 basis points. That means it's between 5 and 525. So it be down to 5 or 475 at most, three rate cuts. So basically, it's a lot of nonsense, but markets think this is very important, because in a country where you have 75% inflation, 0.50, 0.75% doesn't mean too much to you. We have a monthly inflation of 7%, 6% just recently, last month. So, but in any case, whatever the markets are believing in, if you want to get good use of it, you just use it. So we just use it. So this is mainly a video in English, but mostly for my Turkish watchers so that they can practice their English. But here, I want to show you Turkish mutual funds, which are TEFAS. TEFAS was a word opening, Türkiye Electronic Fund, which is mutual funds, alım satım, buying and purchasing platform. Okay, so TEFAS is a short, the word of Fed, FED. So, but it's coming from Department of this and that. So, like NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, as they say, no action, talk only as well. So those are the beginnings of the word. Anyway, this TEFAS is a big possibility, which I think is only available in Turkey. If you open one bank account in any bank, any of the regular banks that do not deal with like Muslim procedures of not buying interest type things, any regular bank account, you can access, and you have to, the banks are forced to do this. You can buy any fund from any of these banks. It doesn't have to be that bank's fund. You can buy, for example, if you open an account in İşbank or Akbank, you can access all Yapı Kredi funds, the private funds, all of them. These are all shown in one platform. So from this platform, many of my friends try to make annual, weekly returns in different ideas, going into the depths of what are in this fund. And these funds don't just include stock exchanges. They do have anything from commodities to borrowing, loans, euro bonds, different country technology groups. So gold, silver, so anything you can think of are sold in these mutual funds. What is mutual fund is a mixture of many. For example, if we are talking about a stock mutual fund, the manager who manages the stocks, he chooses like 10, 15, 20 stocks. He puts them at different percentages. By law, the Turkish regulator who controls does not allow any of these banks or the middlemen to put like 80% from one stock. The most they can put is 10%. So this way, they allow the crooks to be coming in and just putting in their own stocks. So he has to diversify to 15, 20 in any case. And they are guaranteed and followed by the government. And your stocks are not saved at these middlemen. They are saved in government cases where they attach you a government number, which is called A Yatırımcı MKK number, this is just a term where all your stocks and all your mutual funds are saved in your own name. You can even prevent people from reaching it. What does this mean? Like, even if you don't want the middle people, if you tell them to sell, they have to reach it to sell. But if you mark them non-touchable, they cannot even touch it unless you release it. So you have to release it first to ask them to sell it for you. So you have so much control. if you enter this account with your national security number and your social security number in the US, everybody has a social security ID, and they have a special safe, let's say, account where all their houses, real estate, stocks, exchanges are shown directly to the person. Their health accounts, everything are included. So basically, these are also reachable. Your investments are also reachable from this account, especially not the bank accounts in those, but you can reach a person can reach its stocks, bonds in different banks. All will be shown at once. So basically, after explaining these, a follower of mine, as an amateur, he made a further processing of the Turkish stock funds, mutual funds. What good it is, because I'm making this in English, he converted all the fund returns to US dollars. So we will be able to check, and I'm going to show you on the screen how much did they bring in from a week to a year in US dollar returns. You will see them American funds as well as NASDAQ exchange funds, which are sold in Turkey as well. And the good side of Turkish stocks is you only pay 10% from foreign mutual funds of the profits, no matter how many millions of dollars you make. If you make your money from Turkish stock, you pay zero taxes. Okay, currently it's how it is. So otherwise, it may not be so fruitful. So now let me go and explain you from the table, not to lose too much time. Okay, so we can see how much good returns is it worthwhile in a very high inflationary country, how you can make money in US dollars. Because I just recently watched a video of a friend of mine said he left the Turkish market because he cannot make good money in US dollar terms. That's totally wrong. Because if you pick two dates, and for example, let me explain for gold. Gold is $2,000. 5 years later, gold is $2,000. So basically, if you look at it, you made no money. But that's not the case, because it started as a 2,000. It fell down to 1,800, went up to 1,900, fell down to 1,650. Then today it's back again at 2,000. But you could make huge amounts of money in between. So same happens in Turkey. You can make huge amounts of money in US dollars if you just make the purchases at the low rates and sell at the high rates of Turkish lira. And Turkish lira is tried to be controlled by the government to prevent the increase of the US dollar, which gives you further advantages, which gives you a strong TL, which means foreign stocks are very cheap for you, because that's a government always, when they put a stick in there, they make another problem. They cause one solution, they bring a bigger problem. So when the opposite happens, a sudden devaluation, like let's say Egypt, recently made. So we had one right after May in Turkey. Suddenly, Turkish lira went from 19 to 26 TL. So the next day, in that short term, if you bought Turkish stocks at 26 TL with your little dollars, you make huge amounts of money. It's like, not to confuse, I'll just tell you something like this. If you want to buy a house today in Turkey, when it's 33 TL per lira, let's say the house is $33,000, okay? And when there's a devaluation or rate drops, quick one, let's say it goes to 42 at the end of the year. Just an example. Nothing is sure for the rate. But we know that they've been squeezed, so that's why we're expecting some kind of, blow up again. So otherwise, no foreigners are coming to Turkey as well. They want better rates, They don't want to come into Turkey and exchange their dollars for 32 TL, and then dollar go to 42. All the money they make in Turkish markets are steam, okay, gone with the clouds, okay? So they want to make sure before they enter, they want to see it at 40, 42, then at least for a year should remain, considerably stable so that they can make money, return back to dollars and leave, okay, and get the profit. So that's the idea. So that's why I'm betting on that Turkish lira needs to be devalued, because otherwise, if it needs foreign currency will not come to Turkey. It's not because of government this and that. Nobody brings the dollars. If you want to bring in more tourists to Turkey, now we are in March, you have to increase the US dollar rate, because we have the elections on the 31st of March. Right after the elections, I expect within a month or two, there will be maybe not like 100%, 50%, but there is still a monthly 3% drop, even currently, in Turkish money, because the inflation is 6%, I explained. But it's still valued high, because people are lining up in front of the jewelry stores, gold stores, and, buying US dollars in lines. So everybody is expecting this. This is right or wrong. They just want to be on the secure side. There's only 10 days left. So why take a chance? At worst, assume that they bought the dollars. It didn't go up. So what do they lose? Okay, they wait another month or two. Nothing happens. It still stays at 34, 33. Fine, he was secure. He slept a good night's sleep. What if it went up to 38, 39, 40? Then he would be in panic. So that's why he takes the position. He, she, whoever the investor is. So basically, this is the situation. I will go to the fund table to show you. But before, I have to explain this. So in between two numbers, gold $2,000 and 2,000, you can make huge amounts of money, much more money than you can make a standard in the USA, which is like good times of stock exchange. S&P stock exchange roughly gives you 10 to 12% per annum when you look at the exchange base, S&P 500. So, but individual stocks, you may have huge returns. I'm just talking in general, because it's not easy to everybody to invest in that same Nvidia stock. That's not possible. Or in right time investing in Apple, you can lose money. You can lose money in Tesla. So then after the results are in, it's very easy to choose which one you should have invested in. But before, it's not that easy, because you can think maybe it's a bubble, maybe it's going to fall very fast, very hard. So it's not easy before. It's very easy afterwards when things happen. So let me talk here about when things happen in Turkey. I'm not trying to explain you to buy this fund, but I'm just showing you in a country, even with 100 to claim to be 65, 75 to 120% inflation, official and unofficial calculation, shadow statistics, how you can still make money. So let's go to the website of the friend, and now you can see the site. Let me explain you. I will provide you the link at the attachments. But first of all, on the left-hand side, we choose günlük, haftalık, daily, weekly, monthly, tri-monthly, 6 months. YBB is starting from the year 1st of January, and 1 year. So we choose first. I'm choosing, let's say, the 1 year first. Then at a reducing order, investors or the price, I choose the price. Sorry, this is in English, in Turkish, but here we choose, instead of TL, we can choose US dollar, okay? Otherwise, you will see same thing offered on TEFAS in TL, which is not much of a significance. And then the category, in the category, we can choose stocks, stock exchanges. So I marked only hisse senedi. I could have marked değişken as well, and hisse senedi. Let me mark değişken, which is variable stocks, where people can invest. I'm not marking borçlanma araçları, which are borrowing debt like Euro bonds. How much? Because they are mostly in US dollars as well. So just these two samples are good enough for us. And down at the bottom here, I choose uygula, means apply. This says show me true from the top, show me true from the bottom. You can increase or decrease this. Let's increase them to 5. Okay, and increase this to 5. Okay, now we press apply. And after pressing apply, here we go. We see the results in US dollars. You can see it's all US dollars here. 1 year returns, 6 months. Now, for example, the first one is a mutual fund. Deniz Banks, this is the code of the mutual fund. Metaverse and digital technology, okay? And this fund returned in 1 day, -11, in a week, -218 against US dollar, in 1 month, 3%, 1%, because dollar is valuable right now. I mean, Turkish lira is valuable, dollar is not. That's why we are still losing. Here, in the 3 months, we see that they brought in 7.7% in US dollars. In 6 months, they brought in 29% in US dollars. This is a huge gain, okay? This is from the start of the year, in 3 months almost, 7%. And annually, this stock brought 73% in US dollars, okay? That's a huge amount of money. And these are mainly, you will see similar type of mutual funds following, which you will see always will be technology, digital in the beginning. So they range from 73 to 68% in US dollars. So you are not losing anything in US dollars. Now you see me, right? You can make big money in Turkish market. It doesn't have to be foreign, because like this ICZ, Akporfer Technology, this is completely Turkish company, technology companies. It's 67%. There is no Seven Magnificent inside this. These are Turkish software and electronics, let's say, companies. Now we have fintech and blockchain companies, 64%. This is like American, for example, cyber security funds, 58%. You invested in Turkish lira, you made 58% in US dollar, 55.8% from this fund. So as I said, we make it with the değişken. That's why this one is included. Hisse şemsiye fonu, Yapı Kredi Technology Fund, again 54% in US dollars. Okay, now completely Turkish funds, Istanbul portfolio 50%, Istanbul portfolio 53%, Ziraat portfolio Metaverse 44% in US dollars in 1 year. Okay, this is huge money, big money, like 5-6 years money, at least 4 years money you can make in S&P and in a regular index fund. Okay, 4 times, 3 times, 4 times. And they are very, like here there is an IHK which invests in Turkish stock exchange, which companies have women labor in most, and mostly it's banks, as you know, 35% in US dollars return. This is very fresh. This is refreshed every day. You see, this is 19 March 2024. Okay, it's replenished every day, every morning. As you know, mutual funds are priced once a day. So going down 38, 35, you can see İşbank Bank, Metaverse, robotic companies. So we go all the way down 32%. Ak portfolio, Akbank share 32% in 1 year. So I just wanted to show you the annual returns in US dollars. So it's a bullshit that people claim that you cannot make money in US dollars in Turkish stock exchange. You can make huge amounts of money by investing in right companies in right time. So like these are Turkish banks, for example, banks index fund, Turkish bank index fund, 22% they made, okay, in a year. So that's even twice what you can make in an S&P index fund. So these are incredibly good rates. You have to invest in TL. These funds are all sold in TL, but exchanging, you won't be losing a lot of money in regular times. Maybe you should wait after, if you're a foreigner, maybe you should wait till the elections are complete and devaluation is made so that you can start making big bucks, okay? Because now it's overvalued. Maybe we will see right after elections, because people sense, they line up in front of jewelers and foreign currency exchange, let's say, exchange stores. Anyway, the 1 year I made. So now let's look at the 3 months. We come sooner, okay? And then again, we have to press in the bottom. You can work with this yourself as well. But this is an amateur preparation. So make sure that if too many people flock in same time, they may have this site down. That's why I didn't give it in the beginning. Okay, in 3 months, this fund, Turkish Stock Exchange, which is fully sold, you cannot buy even one share now. It brought in 48% in 3 months in US dollars. Technology fund following 33%. Technology fund in 3 months, 31%. Then, as you see, 17%. We are talking 3 months, remember. NFF, hedef portföy, hisse senedi fonu 16%. Fintech blockchain 16.58%. Robotic, you can see the names. I don't have to explain, but these are katılım fonu means. Katılım means this is for Islamic let's say interest-bearing funds, okay? When you see the word katılım. So it brought in 13%. This is foreign one. Yabancı, it says yabancı. These are local. Albatros birinci hisse, 11%. SUP, 11%. So all this mixed technology, Ottoman fund, second fund, 11.35%. In US dollars, these are huge profits. If you invest your money in the US, you can at most get 2-3% for 1 year in a bank, okay? Time deposit, they give you only 3 or 4%. Big banks give you 1%, but now they are running away from small banks, so they are not paying, they are keeping your money dirt cheap, okay? So that's the situation. So as you see, I just want to show you in general, in the weeks, like recent weeks, there are big moves in 3% moves in US dollar, which is good for foreign buyer, because in Turkish stock moves slightly, then he can make or lose money. So we choose weekly. This is just very recent. Or let's choose monthly. So just few examples are good enough, I think. Okay, now in 1 month, this fund, which ran out of all the mutual funds, is brought 18.45%. It was also 3 months leader, 18% in US dollars. They came up with a second fund, KHA. That made a gain in 1 month, 12.52%, close to gold almost. Gold made about 15-20%, in recently. So as you see, there are more, but they are coming at 6. These two are giving a lot within 1 month, because this is 1 month, not an annual one. There are 6% blockchain, another foreigner fund. Now local funds, as we see, except with the exception of the first one, as we see, these are all foreign funds, okay? Not the local ones. So here is a Osmanlı değişken, which is we are still in this line. Here starts the minuses. As you see, recently, because of the US dollar situation, it's not just these companies bringing in a lot of money. It's the US dollar exchange rate greatly affects your return in US dollar. let me return to my face here. It's 24 minutes. So you can make huge money. Like I said, if you wanted to buy a $33,000 house and the rates went up to 40, 45, now you can buy it for $25,000. You save $8,000. Okay. So that's why a foreigner, before he comes to a country where they expect the exchange rate drop, wants to make sure it just happens like Egypt first, then he goes in. Okay. So he can, okay, at least for a couple of months or a year, I must not expect any second devaluation, at least for a couple of months. Okay. So that's the motivation for the foreign currency, foreign money, taking risks, because even if retirement funds want to come to Turkey, they cannot, because the rating of Turkey is very low, about under BBB minus, so needs to increase 4 categories just to become an investable country. So it's very low right now. It's ranking same with Uganda and Rwanda right now. So due to its high inflation, so that's why only adventurous money will come. Okay, once it becomes secure by Moody's, Fitch, and others saying, okay, now it become an investable country, maybe in 3 years, 2 years, we don't know when, then we will see professional big funds coming to Turkey as well. So I hope my unbiased introduction of the Turkish mutual funds, which are controlled, you don't have to pay anything extra for mutual funds. They are already in these prices. The mutual fund commissions are included in these returns. So they take it daily, and you can invest as small as, I can say, with a $1, 33 TL, I can buy you about 6-7 mutual funds. They are so cheap and easy. You don't have a starting purchase value like $2,000, $3,000. You can start with $5, okay, equivalent of TL. I wish all my friends a happy good night. So I had to make some videos from time to time, but this was right time, because I just wanted to remind you there is always money you can make between two standard unchanged numbers, huge amounts of money. You saw 47, 48%. So never look like this, okay? Never look like this. Open up your eyes. Same goes with inflation. Inflation can be dropped by increasing interest rates, which is nonsense, I can tell you. Inflation is a quantitative monetary phenomenon, as explained by Milton, Milton. So what it is if you print a lot of money, you'll have inflation. Basically, that's the situation. Increasing the interest rates just slows down the results of inflation spreading quickly by pressing people's buying capacity. But that inflation will come into the market. This money will come into the market. If you cannot extend it to 10, 20 years, where the growth reaches the amount of money you printed, you will definitely have inflation. The reason the US seems to be successful from reducing from 2.5% to 9%, it's all under control. It's all under control. It's temporary. So it came to 9% because they printed a lot of money. So now the same person which caused the problem is expected to bring a solution. So they said, we are increasing the rates, but on the other hand, they reduced the money quantity. You can see from Fed's graphs about $2 trillion, so that the inflation came down, mostly because of that, not because of interest rates. Now, when they cancel the interest rates, and which will decrease the value of US dollar worldwide, which means all commodities are priced in US dollars, will go up. Like gold is now 2,100 something, 50. if they decrease the dollar's value by saying we are decreasing the US dollar interest rates altogether, then the value of US dollar against other currencies and against commodities will drop from 130 to 103. It fell already. It will go down to 80, which means the gold price will, and all the commodity prices, not just gold, oil, everything will recover to $130, okay? Because they are not fooled. They are not saying, oh, US dollar, whatever your value is, I'll be ready to sell you at the same price. So expect very huge increases in commodity prices if you are an American citizen in US dollars, because you are getting your salary in US dollars, okay? So these may be sounding a bit complicated to you, but you can be sure when the US dollar value, exchange value drops, the price of all commodities, not just gold and silver, oil, copper, everything will increase, okay? So, which means you will have another inflationary attack, okay? Inflation will never be over in the US. Forget about it, you know? You should be very happy keeping it around 3 to 4%. That's good enough. So if they try to keep it down at 2, bring it down to 2 and keep it at 2, you'll have huge problems, because you have very less valuable US dollar, which means people will sell you their commodities at much more US dollars than you can currently buy, okay? There will be no $85 oil. Oil will be $105. Copper will be high, $9,000, $10,000, $20,000. So in the end, when you go out to buy as a consumer, all prices will be rising when Fed really succeeds. So that's the controversy. If really Fed succeeds one day, all your prices will start going up, okay? Anyway, good night and see you all later.